Two blonde bimbos.
Blonde bimbos. Oh man, we'll nail it one of these days. We did it right the first time, but I don't know. I'm trying to bring. I should take a harmony class because you are taking voice lessons right now.
I'm trying. I secretly really want to be a pop star.
Who doesn't want to be a pop star? Well, I'm sure there's many people. I would be a pop star for a night. And I think that's all I could handle.
Yeah.
All I could handle.
I think it's the performance, like the costumes and the dancing that really gets me.
I wonder what it feels like to be, you know, specifically in a stadium with that many people around you singing something that you created. Well, that's got to be so cool.
It's like a high.
Yeah.
I would just cry all the time. I would just cry when people sang my songs. They'd be like, why aren't you performing? And I'd be crying. There's a lot of juicy gossip happening in the world right now.
There's so much. And I feel like there's so much that specifically pertains to things that we've referenced on previous episodes that we've pre-recorded all of our episodes maybe a month ago. So it's been quite some time. And I believe that these episodes will be out faster.
Yes.
Quicker turnaround. So we like to mention Trisha Paytas quite a lot. And it's been so wild because those first episodes, Trisha was on the up and up and everybody was loving Trisha. And then like Frenemies Gate happened. What do we want to call that?
Yeah, Frenemies Gate. It was tragic, honestly, because I love that show.
Oh my gosh. But it might be boding well now.
Yeah, I'm interested. I haven't watched because I know he like kept doing it. Ethan kept with his like family or something. I haven't actually watched.
I believe that Ethan, for those of you who don't know, we love I don't know. I'm a little trepidatious to say that we love this person because she is so right now I feel like the internet is not on her side, but there's a woman named Trisha Paytas who is a big character. We've referenced her a few times on this podcast. She's definitely the quintessential bimbo, and
absolutely
she's had many fallouts with just being in the public eye. She's a YouTuber. She's been a YouTuber since YouTube.
She's done everything. She's done like reality. I mean, she's like been on everything. She went on Ellen DeGeneres show, I believe. It was wild.
She's been in pursuit of fame for many years now. And she has fame, I would say.
Yeah.
And infamy as well. And she is a co-host or was a co-host of a podcast that's also a video podcast that we both love called Frenemies, with a man named Ethan. What's Ethan's last
Ethan
name?
Klein.
Ethan Klein. Thank you for jumping on that for me. And they had a big falling out. And I think when
do you think it was staged? Because maybe we should stage something, Rosey. Maybe this is what we have to do.
Bimbo fight.
Bimbo
oh my
fight.
God. I don't know, because I feel like I would, if we had a fake fight, I feel like I would fight dirty, and I don't know if I could deal with the hate that would follow.
It would be so bad. It would be awful. But she put out that apology thing and like interesting, because you messaged me actually about it and you were like, it seems sincere, and it did seem sincere.
It seemed very lucid, and it seemed like she was in like emotionally well. It didn't seem like it seemed sincere insofar as like it lent itself to the theory that they staged the fight a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't understand how they would go back to doing frenemies, because I feel like it was like so drawn out and she was so like out for blood.
Yeah.
That now I'm like, oh, and that was a very well-known it was one of the most major well-known podcasts out right now. And it's just like interesting because she's also marrying into the family. So I'm like,
I think that's where we might find a possibility of the podcast going on again, because if it's family beef, then you can't escape family.
They're everywhere all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little harder to ghost a family member than it is a friend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more complicated issues, especially when there's other family members. Like if you're still going to talk to your husband, or you're still going to talk to one sister, like blah, blah, blah. There's always some strange.
How did you hear about the news about Britney Spears today?
Was her thing overturned? Was that what it was?
Yeah, they didn't grant her. This whole thing is tragic.
I don't want to be conspiratorial, but to me that seems extremely conspiratorial. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I listened to her deposition.
So did I.
And she sounded so of sound mind.
Very sound of mind.
And I just don't understand why the conservatorship needs to continue. I know so many more people that are far more mentally ill than Britney Spears that have control over their bodies.
Live everything body. The thing that's I've been watching people talk about her posting in Hawaii and how the photos are actually from like
September.
A while. Yeah, and that's kind of scary to me a little bit because I'm like, why are all something's not adding up. And I'm like, and then people are saying how like, Bill Cosby gets let out and then Britney Spears is like trapped in her house with her dad. Like that's wild to me.
I don't understand the justice system whatsoever.
No.
I feel like there's so much more at play, especially with the Britney situation. I don't know too much about the Bill Cosby situation at all, aside from that's horrifying. And that's someone who should be behind bars for the rest of his life. And that it's just so disheartening. But I feel like there are so many people behind Britney. I wonder if there's possibility of a hearing again.
That's like what I'm hoping for. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that house and just see what goes on day to day. Like, I mean, it's been for her to just be, I feel like she really is like trapped in her house. Like I just couldn't function like that. Because there's a difference between being like someone having power over your money and helping you with stuff, and then someone actually controlling like every aspect of what you can say, what you can do. That's like torture.
Absolutely.
It's just odd to me.
It's so sad. In a way, when you look at Britney and you watch old interviews of her, because I definitely went down that rabbit hole after all of this, it's so crazy that someone so hardworking and successful could lose so much of themselves by the machine that made them. And then that machine then is the thing that's imprisoning them.
Yep.
On top of it, like Britney, had mental health issues because of external forces that now are holding her captive.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword.
It really is.
Well, between that and all the Trisha, I've been like, I was in New York and I didn't watch anything. So I got back and you were like, the video. And then I was watching the news. I was like, there is so much happening right now.
Yeah.
Well, this is a random thing, but is there a heat wave where you're at right now?
There is not. It's actually the opposite. It's alarmingly mild out here. Yesterday, it was only, and I know this doesn't sound mild to people, but let's remember I'm in Texas and it should be in the 100s.
Yeah, it should be. Now. That's why I'm like mild.
I tried to get into my apartment pool last night and it was dipping into the 80s and I was like, it's too cold to swim.
Wow. That is mild for July. Almost July in Texas. That's crazy.
Because it should be like, I think at this time of year, pools are kind of even uncomfortable to be in because the water is so warm. And so I was really shocked because I normally wait for the heat of the day to go by and then I go down like after I clock out or whatever.
To like chill.
Clock out of my job. Get in my pool. My job that I set my hours for. But I don't know. I should be getting some like 11 a.m. swims in. Maybe that'd be smart.
Yeah. In New York, it was like hot. I couldn't believe how hot it was. My friends who are there right now were having like blackouts, like their power was going out. So very hot there. I had never felt it that hot before.
I wonder if part of the effects of climate change are like, we're getting a little swap, you know what I mean? Cause
I read articles. That's definitely what is happening. But here in like LA right now, it's still like I feel like it's kind of chilly. I know people would think I'm crazy, but it feels chilly to me. Like it says it's like 75, but with the breeze and stuff, and it's not warm enough to get in the ocean for me yet.
It has to be really hot for me to swim, to be honest with you. I know that some people would be like, 89, that's how I feel. You can be in a pool. I can't be in the pool. Even at like 90 degrees, it feels a little weird being in the water. I like to be in the pool. Like when it's like 97, I am in that pool and I'm enjoying myself. No, it's a little, we're having a dark bimbo chat today, a very special episode of Two Blonde Bimbos, wherein we cover the unfair incarceration of a beautiful pop star and climate change.
We're getting deep,
easy
guys.
Listening you signed up
for.
We're
getting deep. They clearly know our viewpoints right now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just the Free Britney thing is just shocking because no one's ever heard her speak. And so it's just like hearing that on tape was like, oh, because everyone's like, I mean, the whole world watches her videos on Instagram and they're like,
yeah. And she doesn't sound like that at all. On Instagram, she's like, "Hi, I love yellow. You guys, I'm wearing
that
this
sounds exactly like her."
Thank you.
That was good. Oh my God, that was like really good.
Thank you. I watch those videos a lot.
I'm very impressed. I want to try and read. That was amazing, Rosey.
I like to think that I have an ear for impersonations, but she did not sound that way. She did not sound as nasal.
She didn't at all. She sounded completely like a different voice. So that's why I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
This is a put on thing.
I heard somewhere that whoever posts her Instagram videos like speeds them up to make her seem a little bit more
like kind of like, yeah, snippy, snippy.
Kind of out there, maybe, you know, not in her.
I want to know her boyfriend's tea. I want to know what he sees.
Here's the thing. I think Brit, she doesn't always pick a boyfriend that like reflects upon her, but you know what? She doesn't deserve to be in prison for that. Like tons of people I know aren't great at choosing mates.
I want to know what he had to sign and like how his relationship is behind the scenes, like what things he sees go on. Like the thing I could only imagine, because it seems like he's with her
a lot.
A lot. And I never see him hang out with other people. It's only her. It's almost like they're both on lockdown together.
Did he like work for her or something? Because I feel like
he's a model. I think I like looked at it. He's like a model.
So he slid into those DMs.
I honestly am shocked that they met. I have no idea. I need to figure out that story of how they met.
Because I feel it would be very hard for her and her conservatorship to date.
To meet anyone. I'm surprised. Yeah. That's why I'm shocked she's dating someone. But I almost feel like they had to do that or else it would start to like look a little even more like suspicious.
Yeah.
Like alone in her house. This is a side note though. I'm not sponsored. This is my favorite thing in the entire world. Wait. Oh no. It's a drink can. It's a cannabis drink, folks. It's 2021, baby. It's LA. And these things are amazing. I can't even do this right. I'm not like a vlogger yet. Like, okay. But they're like microdose cannabis and they're very good. So
I should have tried one when I was visiting you. I'm very scared about anything with cannabis in it just because I've had bad experience. I am such a dork. Yes, I've had so many bad experiences. And I think it's because I had one really bad experience and that has like always put me in the wrong mindset when I am enjoying anything.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I'll break it down. My friend and I were going to go see Twilight. So here's your time frame. And she was a hairstylist and she was going to cut some guy's hair and he was going to pay her in weed and we were going to smoke it and then go see Twilight.
Iconic.
Oh, we were going to go to Taco Bell first. We did go to Taco Bell and then go sneak it out in to see Twilight. And we went there and I had never smoked a joint like this big. It was a big fat joint, like half of a cigar or some shit like that.
Oh my gosh. So it was huge.
Yeah. And I was so young and I like was so sheltered that I think I overdid it. You know, I probably smoked myself stupid.
Yeah.
And I had one of those panic attacks where I was like, I'm high and I will always be high and God isn't real and everyone is like, we're all dead, you know? And
like the dark, deep hole of like, yeah.
Yes. And I think that I thought, you know, I'm having a freak out. Like this thing is laced. Like that guy put something in this.
Yeah, there's something else in this.
No, I just was in the weed hole and we go to Taco Bell and I'm like, I need beans. And Taco Bell refried beans are my liquid gold. Like that is my
so good
holy grail. Like whenever I'm ill, I love Taco Bell beans. It's just
I had Taco Bell the other night when we got in late and I was like, I always get a bean burrito and it was so delicious. But
I want to sidebar real quick and ask you what your favorite Taco Bell menu items are.
Oh, cheesy festa potatoes.
There you go.
I love a classic bean burrito. When I used to eat meat, it was the beefy 5-layer. I mean, I've had it all. I used to be obsessed with gorditas, but they got rid of gorditas.
They got a gordita still, I think. Or I just think like the cheesy gordita crunch is always there.
They did the cheese. It's different. But I had one of those recently. And not recently, because again, I don't eat meat. I don't mean to be that person. But and I had that probably like last year. And I was like, these things are good. These things are really good. I used to eat Taco Bell like crazy. I haven't had like a bad panic experience with, well, I have one
Uh-huh.
time when I had brownies and I thought it wasn't working. So of course, like everyone, when you're young, you're like, I'll have another one and I'll have another one.
Nope.
I was like falling down a hole, like Alice in Wonderland. Like, I don't know. It was really interesting, but it wasn't so much panic. I think it was when I got older because I used to partake in cannabis when I was in high school. I think a lot of kids did. And then I got older and then I really didn't do it. And then I moved to Hawaii, where Hawaii, it was medically legal. So I got a card.
Ooh.
And that was great. And then I moved to LA and obviously it's everywhere here. And I was like, there's so many more options now because I feel like I have much more anxiety and panic as an adult. And when we first moved here, we were like, yes, we're going to get everything delivered. So we made a huge order for cannabis to be delivered to our door. And Charlie actually, he had never drank till he was 24 and he had never done a drug.
Wow.
So I didn't know how he would like feel about that. He knew like I didn't really smoke or take any kind of edibles when I met him, but he knew I had done it before. And he ended up trying like a smaller dose of stuff, like mainly for like falling asleep or relaxing during the day. He ended up like loving it. He loves it. And so when we got to LA, we ordered a bunch from like the delivery person and we didn't realize, I thought like I got a low dose of edibles. Well, I did not, because we took one of these rainbow strips one day. It was one of the first weeks we were in LA and we took one each and we were out for like 3 days. Like we stared at our cat for hours. I couldn't stay warm. I was like shivering for no reason. I was like, Charlie, I can't get warm. And then ever since that, I'm like, okay, so I need small doses. Nothing more than that. So I love, and I think it's been super helpful for my anxiety, like the smaller doses where it doesn't cause me to have that panic. I know both of us take CBD, and it's just helped a lot.
CBD is everything for me. I think I'm interested in experimenting more with cannabis, but I'd have to go into a nice little shop and talk to someone like they're my doctor, and they'd have to be someone who's like very knowledgeable and cares a lot, because I think the problem with my relationship with weed has been like I've just had shitty swag or like whatever someone was passing around. My friend's husband, Peyton's husband, Sean, we run on the same level of like anxiety and I feel like every other neuroses. So whenever he has something, I'm like, I
didn't know that about him. I didn't know that's it. I love knowing that because obviously I've met them a couple of times, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think I'm just like blaring it out to the world, but
no, they're good people.
If I'm saying it, then if I say I have anxiety, I feel like it's okay to share that about a friend.
Yeah.
But he and I have like the same specific issues. It's crazy. I think that both of our partners talk about that whenever we are all four together. It's sort of like, oh, Sean and Rosey are so similar. And I feel like that makes sense as to why I'd be friends with Peyton.
Why you're friends. Yeah. They're
I
really
think that's a lot. I feel like I do probably befriend people that have similar like temperaments and attitudes like Houston. So that definitely makes, with some exceptions, yourself included.
I just love Houston. Let me just go on a rant about him. He is such a sweet person.
He is
so caring. Houston, when you watch this, we're talking about you. We love you.
Charlie too.
I
love Charlie too. I feel like whenever when I first came over to y'all's place and I saw what he did with your coffee setup and how YouTubey like your house is.
He's very. He could have his own channel. I've told him a million times. Like
I think that he should. And anyone who's listening, Ashlee's husband, Charlie, is so organized, but in a very specific, like you can tell that he's watched a lot of internet videos on organization. He's got all these fun Amazon hacks that you can look up. Like I felt like I was walking into the best like YouTube haul ever. And I was like, where's this from? What's this? And it was the most fun night.
We actually, when we were in New York, we told some of the women up there, we were talking about random organization stuff. And he mentioned the museum gel that he showed you, the little gel to help stuff not slide in drawers. And you would have thought they like just learned that aliens are here right now. Like it was, their mind was like blown from his tip. They were all writing it down because apparently one of the girls used to use like cork in her drawer to like not make it move. But when she found out there was museum gel, game over. I told him, I was like, you really need to start looking at organization channel or something.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
If he needs to feed us that information through a script and we share it, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. I told him that too.
I started reorganizing my bathroom because of Charlie. Like I was like, what would Charlie do yesterday? And I got nowhere because I was distracted. I think I started listening to one of my favorite podcasts, the last podcast on the left, and they were talking about the bubonic plague, which reminded me of Halloween. And then I went and I sat at my computer and started scrolling on Spirit Halloween and bought some stuff.
I'll keep it secret, but I'm going to text you because I want to see what you got because I need to start planning my outfits, my costumes, my decor.
Everything. I'll tell you a couple of things that I got because not all of it is like Instagram costume and stuff related. Okay. Some of it's just like knick-knacky things I want for the house. On the Spirit Halloween website, they debuted a new Funko Pop that is part of the Hocus Pocus world. And I have, just for reference, I have the other Funkos of the other witches. But they have like Danny, the little girl from Hocus Pocus, and she's holding Thackeray Binks, the cat. So I was like, and add to cart.
That's so cute.
And then I forgot some other blog I'm following. I just went crazy on Instagram and I'm following all these like Halloween Instagrams and Halloween like YouTubers pages. I'm just like, I'm really considering unfollowing like anyone else in like our niche and just only following things that bring me true joy. But I don't want to be seen as someone who's like not respective of other people's work or like our peers in the industry. Like I really want to keep everyone, but I don't know how much I like looking at other influencers' work sometimes because I feel competitive and I compare myself.
I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable not to compare yourself sometimes when you're just scrolling and you see people doing. I mean, it's like, I think people forget though, that's like in any job, like a doctor, anyone's going to see another top doctor want to, it's like a normal thing. I think with influencers, it's just so heightened. Yes. It was just interesting because one of the girls I just met with today, we were talking about how LA is just, she didn't realize that LA is just truly heavily influencers. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, it's very interesting to live here and just like breathe that culture. Cause sometimes it makes it even harder to like, not want to just, hide in my house sometimes cause it's overwhelming.
I'm so shocked that so many influencers still like flock to LA. Because LA is so expensive.
So expensive. It's in the taxes just went up. The gas is over $4.50 right now.
No. And what's interesting is that like it's not the type of work where you need that industry person to say, yes, you get in, welcome. So I feel like especially I lived in LA for 5 years when I was trying to be an actor. And if I could know then what I know now, where I can be creative and make my own media from home, I'm not sure that I'm happy I made the move because I had some life experiences that made me a wiser, more cultured lady.
Yep.
But I also had some really rough ones out there too.
Yeah.
We could tell Grandma Slutty Rosie's stories another time.
I know. That's the thing is, have you heard of the new show Sex Life that just came out on Netflix?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's on. People are making TikToks about it. So I just started watching the first. It kind of reminds me because it talks about like a girl who is married with kids, but like had a past life that was obviously like wild. She lived in New York City. She was like sexy all over the city, having sex on balconies. It was great. And I just feel like I look back and I'm like, wow, like I had some serious freaking life experiences. Like I definitely feel like I had, because some people I feel like look back and are like, oh, I wish I would have done it. I feel like I did do a lot and I'm glad I've moved and lived where I have. Because some people are like, oh my gosh, you've lived so many places. Like, isn't that suck or do you regret it? And I'm like, no, I don't regret it. I think everything has led me to the right place. Yeah. So I'm glad I have like been to LA and seen it and live here. Also, I live a little outside of like near the beach, so it's a little different. But whenever I have to drive into LA, I'm like, holy crap, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, I get that for sure. And we're just outside of Dallas, and I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, oh,
Dallas is every time I turn on so many people moving into Dallas. Everyone's moving to Dallas.
At first it's weird. I'm kind of like half and half excited about it and half not excited about it. Like on one hand, if all of these California people come out here, that means we're going to get cool restaurants and shops and like nightlife stuff.
Yeah.
And I heard that there's I think Houston mentioned something about there's more dancing because LA is so dancey. Like there's so many nightclubs where dancing is the main thing. And it just isn't that way in Texas. And I have no idea why outside of like line dancing or things like that. But
yeah, that's true. Cause there isn't really, I'm even thinking about when I lived there wasn't any of that dancing kind of club thing.
But also like when I was not last in LA, but when I was there for an extended period of time, like a week and a half, I tried to go back to some of my old haunts and I was just like, this ain't it. I can't do this anymore.
I went when I was in New York for Pride recently, I ended up going and I was waiting for Charlie and my friend to meet me. And I was in this bar by myself and I heard like music and I was like, oh, what's downstairs? And they're like, oh, it's a club. And I go downstairs, it's 12 in the afternoon and people are like tearing it up. So I'm sitting there in a club by myself dancing, but the music I miss dancing. I love dancing. Like there's just something about like having a drink and dancing to good music that I love. And so that's another reason why I'm really excited about your wedding.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be dancing. I made sure of that. So
I'm so ready. You have no idea, but I'm kind of interested to see how Dallas evolves because it is changing so rapidly. And I do know so many people moving there.
I'm just like, do I want in? Do I want out? I'm kind of interested. Have you announced where you guys are building or is that a secret still?
It's a secret. No one actually knows we're building, but now you just outed me. No, I don't actually care because it's going to be.
I think you referenced it earlier on this potty, or maybe we were just talking before we started recording.
We were just talking, but well, now you guys, you heard it here first. I'm building a house and I'm not going to tell you where yet, but seriously, no, you're fine. Like literally, I just don't know how to announce this one. I'm like kind of actually nervous.
I think this is this will be fun because the true fans and friends of us will be listening and they'll see if this post idea came to fruition. I think you need a little hard hat, a cute little white hard hat or a little pink one.
Because I took a picture on the land already. But I was like trying to think of like a really cute, like even a different way to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to figure out how to announce it. I'm like, and people are going to be shocked because you know how I am. I come in shocking with my shit. I'm always like, where am I going, guys? Never know. Could be on Mars. Like, but no, I'm excited and I'm going to take everyone with the journey and vlog it. And Rosie's going to come to my house all the time. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm probably going to live with me for half the year. To go out there. Honestly, I feel like if I get out there, like at the right time of year, you know, it might be tempting to us.
Imagine if me and Rosey lived in the same city, you guys, game over.
Oh, it'd be intense. I mean, we would be the talk of the town, baby.
Two bomb bimbos are here. We'd be so annoying. We'd be like, oh, look at this cute place at fall. I mean, oh my gosh. But I will tell you guys soon. Maybe I'll announce it on the podcast. I think I should announce it on the next podcast.
I think you should. Absolutely. Okay. And then we can get into it more. I think that I'm really excited to film vlog episodes because I was like, I was telling Houston, we need to go out to LA and I want to go to Disney and I want to
I've actually been thinking about that too, because I've noticed I just like documenting just like simple everyday, like what am I, it's just fun to like let people in and see that, but you should definitely come to Disneyland and we should definitely do it up.
Yeah, I want to. And I was thinking I would go, maybe we'll see if you guys want to do this, but I was like, I want to go full 9 and stay like on the park property.
So we did that and it was so fun.
Okay.
It was because you just walk out. And I think if you stay there, I don't know if it's still this way with COVID or not, but you actually get an extra hour early into the park.
Cool.
So you get to go before the crowd. But yeah, I mean, everything's open now and you can go to the new Marvel campus. Obviously, I prefer Disneyland over Disney or California Adventure, but we can do both. I'm ready. I love Disneyland. So.
And when was the last time you went? You went in June most recently?
June. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be crazy, but Houston has never been to Disney when it hasn't been Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion. And I just want him to see the normal Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. Yeah, that's one of Charlie's favorite rides. But I think we should do that and we should vlog it. And then the next episode, I'm going to just have to announce where I'm moving. So there's that.
Do we need to go where you're moving?
I know we need to do something drastic. Why are we so spontaneous? We're a bad influence on each other. We're like, we're just gonna, do some crazy shit.
points do you have? How many airline points do you have? I'm going to make myself broke is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to my wedding planner today and she told me, she was like, you need to make your wedding plan. She's like, we're at the point in the planning where you need to make it as big a priority as your job. And that horrified me because my job has gotten so busy. Much more busy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is terrifying. Oh, busy. Sorry, my timer is going off. Excuse me. We're so professional right now. But yeah, no, it is terrifying because you are so, I mean, we're both so busy. And then to have that, like, sorry, my cat's getting up now. You guys, what is happening? But literally, you have to be, she's saying you have to be that involved, like from here on out.
Here's the thing. I think that she just wants me to make it more of a priority because we've let some stuff sit on the back burner because I'm like, whatever, I don't care. And I also feel like she may be one of those people who sees only the tip of the iceberg and doesn't understand like how much else is going on. Because when I tell you, it's been night and day, and it has been kind of a crazy thing to introduce this podcast right when
I know.
I was like, oh God, because I was trying to communicate to you. I was like, girl, if I'm late with stuff, if we're like, it looks like we're slacking, it's just because we are like confused.
Well, yeah, we can figure it out. I mean, doing every Thursday is a lot, but I know a lot of podcasts, you know, they do it kind of as they can. It's just
I want to do it frequently. I think that it's fun. And I think that it's easy. Like now that we have like the template for what we're doing, like a lot of the stuff is like those first ones I knew were going to be a doozy just because we had to establish so much. But now it's fun.
Now it's really fun. I know I like it. And I hope you guys all like it. On the next episode, get ready. Maybe this is I'm gonna announce where we're building.
She's building a house.
I'm building a house. And I will come. And we're just glad you guys are here. So
we are. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on our Apple stuff. Write a review, and we'll be back next Thursday. And we love you guys.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I've been literally thinking of how I'm going to announce it because I'm just like, because people are going to be like, think I'm building in like California, and then I'm going to be like,